right. Hello. Today we are talking with Mike Drumm, beer and franchise attorney at Drumm Law. How you doing, Mike?
Can't complain today. Thanks for having me.
That is wonderful. So let's just head into it. We'll kick it off. Let's talk about, so how did you end up specializing in franchising law and what drew you to the field?
So I wish I had a better story, and I really want to come up with a better one. But I was a baby lawyer, and I was working at my first law firm. And there was a local business in San Antonio called Massage Heights, and they had $30 massages. And this is where I like to say, not that kind of massage. And thankfully, the massage industry has been a little, there's some bad actors, but I really, if I could create the history, I'd say hamburger shop, right? Or, I had a great place of pizza, but no, it was massage. And I went in to get a nice massage, and I was talking to one of the owners that was working, and they said, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm an attorney." And they said, "Well, we're thinking of franchising. Are you a franchise attorney?" I said, "Absolutely, I am." Gave them my card, went back to the other partners and said, "We can do franchise law, right?" And so I kind of got my first franchise client. That's where I said, rather be lucky than smart, or I wish I could say I've always been an entrepreneur. And this is why franchising was my dream since I went to McDonald's at 8. No, I got a massage. It was baby lawyer, and you get one franchisor, and then you finally get another and another. So it was kind of luck, and I'll take it though.
That is an amazing story. That's the best answer I have heard to that question so far. So
If a hamburger would have been good, or no. I'm glad, and they're still a client today, Massage Heights, and it's been great. So
that's wonderful. So what do you think is the biggest legal hurdle facing the franchising industry today and heading into 2022?
So I think not necessarily a legal hurdle. So I'm going to be your typical lawyer and not answer the question that you're asking. I think the biggest challenge is going to be labor. And it's funny, I'm driving around, I'm seeing McDonald's and Chick-fil-A paying $19 to $20 an hour. And also I'm reading stories about restaurants closing, or the Denver crew for a donut shop just sent the whole team to Oklahoma City to run the store because they lost all the employees. So I think, can we sustain the wages, right, for some of the lower paying jobs? And can you even find the employees? I think that's going to be the biggest hurdle. Now, anytime there's a hurdle, there's opportunity. So if you have a franchise that requires 1 or 2 employees versus 20, this may be your time to shine. Now, to answer your question though, for the biggest legal hurdle I think we're going to see is going to be joint employer again. There's been some recent changes undoing some things that, the problem is we don't have certainty. Same with California's AB5 rule with whether or not an Uber driver or Uber Eats driver or Lyft is an employee. Is the franchisor an employee or of the franchisee's employees? And we have too much uncertainty. Uncertainty is hard to deal with. So I think that's going to be our biggest legal challenge in addition to the labor.
Makes sense. So what is the most common mistake that you see franchise brands making from a legal perspective?
So I thought about this one, and I think it's a paper trail. Franchisors don't have a good paper trail in a good way and a bad way. We have a franchisor we're dealing with right now that didn't get the franchise agreement signed. Every other agreement was signed, and now we're having trouble, and we're looking at the franchise agreement, or where is the receipt page showing you waited the 14 days? So paper trail everything, whether, you really would love to have that file cabinet full. And then we get this a lot. There's a bad actor, but we kind of tolerate this franchise until finally they do something. We want them out. Or, hey, we have a new franchisee that can go in that territory. These guys have been a pain for 2 years. Well, you didn't send a default notice. You didn't do one thing in writing. And then all of a sudden, you want me to go ahead and terminate them when the paper trail is they signed the franchise agreement and there's nothing else in writing. Where if you do create that paper trail, default, you're not following our standards, you're not listening, kind of create that paper trail. And then when you want to have that action, I have something to work with.
Makes sense.
Paper it up. Cross your T's, dot your I's.
That's right. Absolutely. All right. So what do you love about working with franchises? We can tell you do. What do you love about it?
So I love working with entrepreneurs. I started my own business and I love just dealing with business owners. So that would be my first answer. My honest second answer is it's mandatory legal work every year. If you want to be a franchisor, you need us to update your FDD every year. So that's definitely an added bonus. In addition to working with the entrepreneurs who are helping entrepreneurs, guaranteed legal work, that's kind of hard to come by sometimes.
Hey, I cannot argue with that. That is a fantastic answer there. So what is the one thing that you think every prospective franchisee should know before joining a franchise brand?
So I thought about this one too, and I think I got the good answer for you. If you are going to buy a franchise, you are playing by someone else's rules. So you need to understand what the rule book says. You need to know what the rules are. And I think that's where the conflict, and that's where franchisees and franchisors get in trouble, is making sure everyone understands that, hey, I'm the parent, you're the child, or I'm the rule maker. It's my brand, my system. And if you voluntarily come into my brand, you're going to have to follow the rules. And that's where I think the problems arise, because you got to know what the rules are, otherwise you can't follow them. I know the consequences.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. Those were all my questions, and you answered
excellent.
them
Thanks again.
so succinctly.
Yeah, it was a blast, nice and easy, and appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.